Well, I think the thing about China is, first of all, there is this wildly unbalanced economy. Essentially, roughly speaking, investment's 50% of GDP and consumption is 30%, and that needs to be reversed. And how are you going to do a 20-point of GDP switch, which doesn't have that long, there isn't infinite time to do that, without something falling by the wayside. So that's the fundamental Chinese problem. Then it turns out that you have major real estate bubble seems to be bursting, and the more you learn, the more things you discover that are reasons for concern. Who knew that local governments in China finance themselves to an important extent by land sales?
That's right.
So you have this sort of local level, urban and municipal level fiscal crisis that comes out of the bursting of the housing bubble. So all of these things accumulate. China looks like a very ripe candidate for a debt deflation spiral. Wow, not what you need right now, and certainly not what the world needs. So I hope that my pessimism is wrong, but it is scary.
But because you're pessimistic and because the world believes in your pessimism, it seems at this point in time, how do you see things pan out for China? Do you believe the government, which is largely always in control in China, sees the situation, get problems solved there, or do you actually believe, like you say, the deflation bubble to actually burst in China?
I've been around for a while, and when people say, oh, the Chinese know what they're doing and they're in control, I remember all the people in the 1980s saying, the Ministry of Finance in Japan, they really know what they're doing. Don't listen to all these Westerners, they did not know what they're doing. And all impressions, the Beijing may say, do this, and the provinces may report back, yes, we did it, but what actually happened may have nothing to do with what they say happened. So I think we should not, this is not a controlled situation.
Do you believe a receding China gives India the elbow room, the space to actually outpace China in some ways?
First of all, this is not really a competition, right? I mean, you are not, India should hope that China does not melt down, right? This is not good for any of us. And I think business cycles, even very bad business cycles, may pass. One of the things I talked about here yesterday was that if you look at the 1930s, the United States did much worse than Great Britain did during the 1930s. That didn't change the fact that America was a dynamic economy and Britain was not, and once the dust had settled, we were back to that. So whatever's going on in China, it may be that this is really bigger damage than all of that, but I wouldn't say that, for the next 5 years, China has a much rockier road than India, but that doesn't really tell you very much one way or the other about what things will look like 20 years from now.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/etnow, and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at etnowlive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/user/etnow.